Apologies in advance for the sore throat.
Oh, it's going around, trust me.
One of the stated reasons why this team had the latitude to trade Daniel Gazdag was the depth of attacking midfield players that you had behind him. And understanding that there was a Union 2 game a couple days before Saturday, so maybe there wasn't enough time to plan it all out. None of the guys who came off the bench in New York were of that attacking midfield depth chart. Do you think, has there been enough time this week to plan it out so that we might see them a little more this weekend and going forward?
Yeah, listen, each game, each scenario, each moment, is thought about for the best of the team and the best of that moment. And then we make those decisions, right? So, I mean, we have scenarios going into a game where we might be, going a goal up, we might be chasing a goal, we might be, and that's how the game unfolds and the scenario plays out. So, we feel very confident of what we're doing, where we are, chance creation, in terms of, listen, we look at the data, we look at the pictures, we feel comfortable within what we are doing. We have enough within our attacking firepower. We can play, 3 10s, we can play 2 strikers with 2 10s. I think we're pretty versatile and flexible. And as the season unfolds, there will be more scenarios. But I mean, we give confidence to the group right now, and we want to build with what we've already built on.
I realize that we ask you every week about Quinn Sullivan and CJ Aldi and David Vasquez. At this point, what do you want to see from the 3 of them that will get them to achieve that goal of first team minutes and get them into games?
Yeah, listen, I think we look at both sides. A lot of the evaluations, and it's totally human nature to only look at on-ball contributions. For us in the game model, we look at both sides of the game and all phases of the play. We're always critical of our work against the ball, and not to say that they're doing anything wrong. It's a learning process and a growing process, and for us to work against the ball first, to be then attacking, flexible, dynamic, versatile. And these are the things we're trying to instill and empower, and then let the guys grow from there. So we're seeing good things at Union 2. They had a great game last time out against Atlanta, and they showed how it can be done. David's been very flexible, and he's had to plug a couple of holes and a couple of gaps here in our training sessions. So, for the first couple of days of our principal weeks or principal days in the training weeks, we have the full group with us. So they're always around our group, and then obviously when Ryan is preparing his team for tactical, when we're preparing our team for tactical, and some guys make it on our roster, some guys don't, and then we separate the teams and make sure that they can work as professional as they can. So, the guys are not far off, to be fair. The guys are not far off, and like I say, the staff, we evaluating, we grading Union 2 games, we grading our games, and I think everyone has a fair shot of playing minutes, and I think we've showed that. We've been very flexible in our lineups. We've been very, brave in certain decisions when we bring guys on, and hope for game changers in the games. And again, there's just different dynamics that we're looking for at certain moments, and different relationships. And for me, I'm always a little bit more critical with work against the ball.
So, any updates on any of the injuries that you have so far?
Yeah, Dre is looking better, is day to day, and we'll make a full evaluation tomorrow morning and see if he can go to training and be with the group outside, and then we'll go from there. And then Jesus Bueno had a slight hamstring tension, I would say, over the last couple of days, and we decided to keep him out. He might have a minor strain. So he's out potentially. So we're just assessing him day to day as well. And then Jan is progressing as expected, actually ahead of expected. He's doing really well, which is good to see. He's off the crutches. He's walking freely, and just doing his now sort of rehabilitation process. Anybody else? I think that's about it for now, right?
So right now you're on a 3-match winless streak. What do you think is going to make the difference to get you guys back into the win column on Saturday?
Yeah, listen, I look at perspective, right? If we roll back to the 9th of January or whatever, when we went into camp, there wasn't much optimism around, the outside world, on the inside world. And through, a collective approach and through a change of fresh air or new dynamics, new situation, new game models or what have you, we come out the gates flying, and we rack up points pretty quickly, and we score goals, at free rates. So again, I think we are right where we should be, and we're very competitive. And even on a game there, and I've said it the last 2 weeks, against Orlando, we have a really good game, dominate from A to B, or A to Z, I would say, and don't get the result. In New York, it's a tight game. It's a small field. It's chaos. XGs are the same. XGs against, very low. We're not giving much away. And that's a game, again, could be a 0-0 and we get another clean sheet, right? So as long as we're racking up points, unfortunately we let a couple go in New York, but I think the team's right where it needs to be, and I think we should be, going into each game with confidence, because the team's in a good way. Whether we get, have a bout of flu or illnesses in camp, or whether we pick up an injury, we've shown we have guys who can come in and take the baton and move on. So I think it's the standard we set on ourselves, just in terms of the four walls and the pressure we put on ourselves. But then I look at the log, and not that I'm comfortable being where we are, I put always things into perspective, and I think that's a pretty fair shake where we are currently, and I think we've earned where we've needed to be. We've won the games we've had to win, and we've been competitive in every game, I would say.
And when you look at your opponent on Saturday against Atlanta, what sticks out the most? You think is going to be a big challenge for you guys?
Yeah. Star-studded lineup, right? They spend a lot of money year in, year out, and they earn respect based off of the names on those back of the jerseys. It's a little bit like Inter Miami, it's a little bit like Orlando, it's a little bit like, they spend a lot of money, and they are a competitive powerhouse in the league. So we have to approach the game with caution. They have some game changers for sure. They're very threatening in the transitions. They have high quality in their attack through their possession phases, and it's danger. That's what I think of them when they come to town. So, again, it's a game where every week we speak about DPs and high talent players, and Latelat, 5 goals on the season. So, we're gonna have our hands full. Again, it's gonna take 11 guys on the field collectively to play together and win the game here at home.
You sat here a week ago and you talked about wanting to see Quinn Sullivan actively engaged in the attacking phase, shooting more in particular. He did that, obviously.
Sure.
In New York, how do you now keep that way?
Yeah, I think, again, we just need to put the guys in the right spots to either, one, evaluate the situation and reward runners, overloads, and or to take the responsibility to be in the zone and lock their sights on target and finish off with final plays. Quinny's getting closer and closer to a goal, and we feel that. We see it in training, and he was pretty close against New York.
Is there a mental side of the player and a coaching side of the manager to get it properly in the player's mind? Yeah, you have the freedom to shoot. You don't have to worry about passing first. Go ahead and feel free to shoot. Is that a mental thing?
No, I think Quinny's found a good balance of when to shoot and when to play the next pass, right? So I think there's been moments in each of the games where he's made the right decision in what he has to do, and we just try and put the guys in the right spots to, one, your brain's moving at your body and brain are moving at 100 miles an hour, right? To then calm down, right? We call it 100 to 70. So can we calm down the brain to 70 while the body's moving at 100, so that you can evaluate under stress and pressure to make the right decision? And this is why we do what we do Monday through Friday, and we play on Saturday and see how that then rolls out.
And about Atlanta, for all their talent, it has not translated yet into the results that they want. They're probably in a pretty bad mood after losing at home to New England the way they did. How do you prepare for a team that not only has the firepower that they do, but it's probably going to be in a rather...
Yeah, I've told the team this is not about any opponent that comes to our building. I think, we're having our own standards, and we feel a certain way about, you know, a certain run of form and games as well. So this is us about us, despite the opponent. And I think, you know, every game that we go on, you know, the tide will turn, and adversely for them too. Like at some point they'll find their form and find their rhythm. It's up to us on the weekend now that it's not against us. And if we stay true to who we are and make sure we're trying to iron out the problems that we encountered last week and over the last couple of weeks, and we've been in games, we've been playing well. So, you know, we're not giving much away, which is, you know, a very good sign of a good team in terms of, you know, both boxes being controlled, and I feel we pretty, you know, I would say attacking minded. We're getting a lot of shots off, we're getting a lot of set pieces, we're getting a lot of moments in the attacking third, and on the other end, we're mitigating many moments in our transitional phases, whether it's out of the run of play or in transition. I think you know, we've mitigated the work for our goalkeepers quite well.
We have a couple on Zoom we can take.
Jillian?
Hi, Bradley. I know you mentioned after the game on Saturday that Vaizo was dealing with his hamstring. How's his recovery coming?
Correct. Yeah, thank you. Getting much better. Yeah. Every day is on, you know, the treatment table. He's been out on the field a little bit, just slowly moving around. So, you know, I see him progressing. I don't see him being available for this weekend.
Jose?
I'm good, Nico. Thank you so much.
All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bradley.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.